Hey, what's going on? Ryan here with Intersection Records and talking about Whitesnake, talking about PinkSnake, talking about a rumor that went around where it was David Gilmour was going to join Whitesnake, and he confronted David Coverdale at a party about the rumors. And here's what I saw. This was Coverdale was on a show called the Rock and Tours podcast, and he relayed this story. Of course, Whitesnake's had many great guitar players, and we'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute too. So Coverdale says, I'm at a party at Ian Pace's house, drummer for Deep Purple, and this was a lifetime ago. And David Gilmour comes up to me, Coverdale explains, he says, David, may I ask you, am I joining Whitesnake? I said, I don't know. He said, but I read it in the effing Daily Mirror that Jimmy Page is joining and we haven't spoken. Coverdale, it turns out, was surprised by Gilmour's question by the Pink Floyd rocker, and was also surprised by the rumors, of course. He said he heard he was joining Whitesnake and needed the confirmation from David. Coverdale chuckled, recalling the conversation. Though he joked he was open to offers, Coverdale noted that there was never a genuine discussion about Gilmour joining the group. Of course, that doesn't mean it's not fun to imagine. PinkSnake, Coverdale declared, come on, I'm in. I think it's funny, Coverdale had a revolving door of guitar players, of course, famously being asked in 1973 to join Deep Purple. They did a fantastic album called Burn. They did Stormbringer, at which point Ritchie Blackmore leaves Deep Purple, and Tommy Bolin, famous from working with Billy Cobham and working with the James Gang, joins Deep Purple. At which point the band breaks up at that point. Whitesnake is formed. The first album is called David Coverdale. White space Snake is the name of the David Coverdale solo album, which then turns into a band called Whitesnake. And, again, it's interesting that he's referencing Jimmy Page, that David Gilmour is referencing rumors of Jimmy Page joining Whitesnake. Well, of course, in 1993, the Coverdale Page album came out. Check out the Coverdale Page album. By the way, check out my channel. We try to do shows every single day about interesting things, rock, some jazz fusion, heavy metal, hard rock, really everything that I kind of like in music. Coverdale Page album is great. So after working with Ritchie Blackmore in Purple, Tommy Bolin in Purple, Mickey Moody is the first guitar player to work with Coverdale and Whitesnake. He's in the band from 78 all the way through Slide It in 83. Bernie Marsden was an early guitar player. He co-wrote Fool for Your Lovin'. Mel Galley, formerly of Trapeze, who worked with Glenn Hughes. John Sykes comes in after stints with Tigers of Pentang and Thin Lizzy. Check out the Thunder and Lightning album by Thin Lizzy. It's the last album that they did. John Sykes is all over that. He goes into Whitesnake, co-writes a lot of the songs on not only Slide It In, but the 1987 album Whitesnake. Still at Night, all those great songs. Vivian Campbell then replaces Sykes, and he's actually on all those videos. Adrian Vandenberg comes in. So there's a double guitar monster of Campbell, who ends up going to Def Leppard, and Adrian Vandenberg. Then they bring in Steve Vai, who had just finished working with David Lee Roth, who had previously worked with Frank Zappa, who probably technically better than any of these guys. Then he works with Jimmy Page and Coverdale Page. Then he goes back on tour with Whitesnake in 94, brings in Warren D. Martini from Rat for a tour in 94. Steve Ferris then comes in from Mr. for a tour in 97. Doug Aldrich comes in 2002, all the way to 2014, works on 2 studio albums, co-writes all the material with Coverdale. Reb Beach longest member of the band, also joins along with Aldridge in '02. He's original member of Winger, awesome player. Joel Hofstra, formerly of Trans-Siberian Orchestra and Night Ranger, comes in 2015. Worked on the Purple album, which is a great Whitesnake album featuring the material from the Deep Purple era of Coverdale. Anyway, PinkSnake never happened. Clearly, probably maybe this party happened in '92, '93 when the rumors of Jimmy Page working with Coverdale ended up being true, and he had heard his name floated in the papers there in England that David Gilmour is going to be in Snake, and that never happened. Check out my channel. We do shows every day. Peace out. See ya.